Hey guys, John Lemme here, the founder of Conservative Business Journal and the host of the CBJ, very important real news podcast show. And I'm very excited to bring to you someone I've watched over the years, I've admired over the years. And let me give you a quick bio of Peter Navarro. Peter Navarro is the former assistant to President Donald Trump, author. And he's releasing his book on November 2nd. Make sure you pre-order it, own it, get numerous copies. We'll be discussing that tonight. He's the author of In Trump Time, a journal of America's plague year. Navarro served as Director of Trade and Manufacturing Policy and a National Defense Production Act Policy Coordinator inside the Trump White House. And what I admire about you, Peter, so much is your commitment to integrity of the voting process and love for America. And just with your bio there, Peter, we talk about trade and manufacturing, in Trump time, kind of just give your expertise, what's occurring right now. Biggest question we get is supply chain, the communism, the control by China, which you're an expert on. So thank you, Peter, for your time. I appreciate you being a special guest on our podcast show.
Hey, John, great. Now, I want to dive into stagflation in a second. But first of all, just reflecting on that 60-second open, that's why I'm here. We've got a situation in this country where the big corporate media, the fake news, the New York Times, the CNNs of this world, they're spinning narratives. And it's things like, oh, the virus didn't come from the Wuhan lab. Election wasn't stolen. Just all sorts of stuff. Yet the American people, if you poll them, they have very stark, different views. Over half of the people believe that there was a problem with the election. Well north of half believe that virus came from the lab. They're blaming Tony Fauci, as I will in my In Trump Time book. My point is simply that chasm between the fake news spin and what the public believe, the only way the public's getting the truth is from shows like yours. And I congratulate you on that. And the American public gets it. And the In Trump Time book is both a book of indictments of people like Fauci, the Chinese Communist Party, but it's also a book of revelations. I will get to the bottom of what happened on November 3rd, what happened on January 6th, what happened in that Wuhan lab. But as a business-oriented person, let's dive into this stagflation issue, because on Saturday in Iowa, the president talked about stagflation for the first time in one of his speeches, and he clearly indicated that Biden was to blame, and I'm totally in agreement with that. Stagflation, as you know, John, is a combination of slow or growth or recession. That's the stag part. And then, of course, the inflation. And when in the In Trump Time book, I'm proud to write that I was only one of three senior White House officials to be with the boss from the campaign in 2016 all the way to the end. And
that's huge.
When I was with the boss in 2016, we campaigned on a 4 points of the compass growth plan that included things like tax cuts to bring investment onshore, deregulation, strategic energy dominance, and free trade, right? In the fair trade sense. And then we added defense spending. Here's the point, John. All of that allowed us to grow above where it was forecast every year. We beat expectations every year. Real wages for blue-collar workers rose. And the starkness between the stagnation of the Obama-Biden regime, what we did, and now what we're seeing is stark. And it's no secret, John. It's like what Biden did was he went 180 degrees on all 5 points of the Trump growth compass. He's totally misdiagnosed the solution to the pandemic. We are in a 70s style stagflationary shock caused by the same kinds of forces. Back in the 70s, it was fiscal profligacy, the Fed's printing press, and cost push inflation shocks in food and energy. Guess what? We've got the same fiscal profligacy with Biden and Congress. We've got the same printing press problem with Jerome Powell. And most importantly, we've got this cost push inflation that's being driven by the pandemic and Biden's mishandling of it, distortions in the labor market, supply chains off the rails. And here we are, John.
So, Peter, I want to ask you, it's something you said too about you guys beat expectation basically each month, each quarter with the employees and jobs. And right now, because as an expert in trade and manufacturing, kind of give your expertise on. Everyone hears the word the supply chain is backed up.
Sure.
How did it happen? How do we get out of it? And obviously, we know the election was stolen, which on my show, everyone knows that. So we'll unpack that more. But Peter, you're the expert on that, on the manufacturing overseas.
Let me start with chapter 1 of In Trump Time, what I call the Red Wedding chapter. That was like I'm sitting in the East Wing with the president on stage, and the Chinese have come to town to sign the so-called skinny deal to stop their economic aggression. See, that's where it all started. And you go back to 2001 when the communist Chinese were allowed to enter the World Trade Organization. And what we saw was a steady exodus of our jobs offshore, a lot of it pushed by the Wall Street elites. And what that did was it eliminated the best paying blue-collar manufacturing jobs. Now, here's the thing, John, when the manufacturing jobs go offshore, guess what goes with them? The supply chains. So what Obama, you remember this term, remember the new normal? Huh? We're talking about the new normal. Obama, Biden, it was like we couldn't grow beyond 1 or 2%. That was the new normal because we'd sent all our jobs offshore. So by reversing that trend, by bringing first the manufacturing and then some of our supply chains home, that's how we were able to hit 3% growth, 3.5% growth every year, when each time the Congressional Budget Office was saying, no, you only going to hit 2. So that's the way this works here. We've got populist economic nationalism in the Trump White House. I'm the tip of the spear for manufacturing. Our 2 simple rules, John, are buy American, hire American. And in the In Trump Time book, I describe more than 12 executive orders I helped the president with to get there so we could bring our supply chains home. Biden and his crew have no clue. They're in the back pockets of the Chinese Communist Party. Hunter Biden goes over to communist China and sells Michigan factories to the Chinese, pockets a bunch of money, and plays on his daddy's reputation. That's the mindset of Joe Biden. And this stagflation, John, that's coming at us like a hard one. If we don't, here's the thing. Action, action, action. That's one of the key things in the In Trump Time book. I'm saying to your listeners now, just don't sit back and get mad. The big thing now is to stop those rhino Republicans joining hands with the Democrats and passing those $3.5 trillion Reading New Deal bills to nowhere and that fake infrastructure bill. If we add $5 trillion more to what's going on now, all hope is lost.
I mean, this is something you said, Peter, and this is something I'm blessed to speak. And I just spoke last night in an event. I spoke for Italians for Trump for an event on Columbus Day dinner. It was a great event. And I'm famous for saying one of the most dangerous weapons that the enemy is using in Congress is rhinos. You mentioned rhino Republicans.
Yes.
I know the boss, as you referred our President Trump to the boss. Can you share why rhinos are so dangerous?
Well, let's name names. I mean, Mitch McConnell is the rhino of them all. See, here's the thing. The traditional Republican Party, right, over here, was the party of Wall Street, was the party of offshoring our jobs, was the party of helping corporations send our jobs offshore so that they could save some bucks using slave labor and pollution havens. And the way that game worked was their contributions would come into Mitch McConnell, he'd distribute them around, and they'd keep electing these people over and over again. Those kind of folks, whether it's Romney, Ben Sass, whether it's Pat Toomey, these people are poison. They're poison. What Trump did was not need their money. Okay. He said, look, if we're going to have a strong country, I'm with the deplorables. I'm with blue collar manufacturing. And what McConnell's trying to do now, and Romney and Sass and Toomey, Lindsey Graham, that guy needs to go. That guy should hide somewhere and just get out of the public view. He's destructive. It has to be the party of Trump. McConnell, I think, has been significantly weakened by what we've just seen over the last week or two. He tried to surrender to the Democrats. He's been called on it. Folks watching and listening to your show, call McConnell. These rhinos are death to America. And if McConnell keeps getting into bed with Schumer, we're going to have big trouble. But this is a battle for the heart and soul of the Republican Party. Trump economic nationalism for blue collar workers is on one side of the fence, and you got the corporations on the other side with their puppets in McConnell and Romney and Sass and Toomey and so on.
You know, I remember, Peter, and you could see on my intro, I'm banned on YouTube for life. And one of the reasons why I'm banned, you'll be excited, you're part of it, is I broke down your entire, after you exposed how the election was stolen, the 6 days,
Yes.
the time frame, the plans, and how everything was shut down and all the votes. And I know in Trump time, a Journal of America's Plague Year, guys, make sure you secure Peter's book. Pre-order it now. Obviously, it's available November 2nd. Pick up numerous copies of books. Send it out to people who are so uneducated that they're still just blinded by the media, and send it to everybody that you know, family, friends, coworkers, associates, to educate them, because you were with the boss for the entire 4+ years, and you've been committed, Peter, which I respect. You haven't swayed. You're not paid off by the political pundits. I mean, you love America, and one thing I love about you is the integrity of a fair and free election. So just in the final few minutes here, just kind of share how you unpack that, and from your heart, how you're so passionate. Like I'm passionate about. One of my quotes, Peter, is the most valuable asset we have as an American under the Constitution is our right to vote. And when you steal one vote, you're a criminal. So can you just unpack that in the final few minutes, please?
Sure. I mean, look, for whatever reason, my view is that what my value add to this country is to serve the president, to serve the country. And I never went to the White House for a job. I went there for a mission. And I came in there, and there were a lot of bad people inside that perimeter, whether it's Gary Cohn, whether it's Steve Mnuchin, Kudlow, whoever. These people were not Trump people. They were not blue-collar Trump deplorables. I had to fight a lot inside, but I stayed the course, because if we're going to have a country, we need blue-collar manufacturing as the foundation of that. And this election was stolen. There's no question in my mind. There's a great chapter in the In Trump Time book. It's Thanksgiving Day after the election. I've waited like 2 weeks for the Trump campaign to do something about investigating and challenging all of the election irregularities we'd seen. And frankly, that campaign fell down on the job. I document that in Trump Time. Finally, on Thanksgiving Day, it's like, no football, no turkey, no problem. Put on my Harvard big boy pants, went through thousands of pages of documents, and came out with a series of reports that are the definitive reports on election fraud. Sure. And we're seeing now the last chapter of the In Trump Time book simultaneously gets to the bottom of both November 3rd and January 6th. There's a big reveal about what happened on January 6th that it's in the In Trump Time book. But the point is that these people who talk about, well, Trump in 2024, let's win the Congress in 2022. Yeah, all good. Okay. But no, wait. 2020, we have to deal with November 3rd first. Right. If we don't do that, there's so many angry people here in this country. For good reasons, they're angry. This regime is illegitimate, and they're just messing everything up they touch.
Final point. Let's expand the set tonight, Peter, and show everybody In Trump Time. I know before we went to our record, we had about a minute conversation. Show everybody just kind of behind you there. You said that's a Trump.
Oh yeah, this is great. I literally live in the swamp now, and this is In Trump Time. Literally, this is the Trump Hotel, the famous Trump Hotel in Washington D.C. The White House is like a little bit over there. This is the FBI building, and this is the Washington Monument. And I'm living here in the swamp, just trying to hold these people accountable. And that's the Justice Department, by the way. And there's a whole chapter on how Bill Barr sold us down the river. It's the bushy whacker. He just had too many people inside the White House that had Bush loyalties. Don McGahn, Barr, all sorts of people like that. But John, it's been a real pleasure being with you. And truth to power, that's where both of us are at. And by the way, Columbus Day is Columbus Day.
That's right.
Okay?
I got it.
It will forever be Columbus Day in my world. None of this.
My entire family came from Italy in 1913.
Yes.
Peter, 9 of them to Ellis Island. I got the legal immigration papers here. They came with $17 each in their pocket, 2 weeks on a boat, and we're never going to give up fighting for them.
Yeah, they might have been on the same boat with my dad's family. So who knows?
That's right. And that's why I say that, there's a lot of Tonys named Italian, Peter, because on the forehead it said to New York. A little joke. So Peter Navarro, thank you guys. Make sure you visit and search out Peter's book. Where
in Trump time, baby.
In Trump time, a journal of America's plague year. Peter Navarro, thank you for all you do. Thank you for your commitment. I look forward to having you back on again for round 2, and keep those sleeves up and keep fighting, my brother. God bless you. Thank you.
Take care.
Wow, guys, in Trump time, that was epic with Peter Navarro. As all of you guys know, we're censored and banned and shadow banned and demonetized everywhere. So tonight's show is brought to you by our conservativemarketplace.com. Let me show you a quick commercial, then I'll do a quick wrap up. And guys, we appreciate all of you patronizing and supporting all the businesses. Each and every day, we're adding more businesses to conservativemarketplace.com. And guys, once again, we appreciate you patronizing and supporting the show, supporting the businesses and entrepreneurs. Everybody wins. Please visit conservativemarketplace.com. Free shipping on all orders, special bonuses with every single order, a variety of products, all of our Fate Stands and Fear Run line, all of our new conservative business journal swagwear. We have patriotic hats, patriotic pins, a variety of products. We added in 5 new vendors this week. Conservativemarketplace.com. We appreciate that, because that's, as we say, the number one secret to cancel culture is supporting conservative businesses. And you could do that by visiting conservativemarketplace.com. And make sure, because we're censored and banned on 99.9% of most platforms, make sure you follow us on Telegram at our channel, CBJ Real News. You simply follow CBJ Real News and join the channel. That's our Telegram channel. Also on Rumble, you could join our channel at CBJ Real News. All of our CBJ Real News podcast shows, the replays are up on Rumble, and they're also up on Telegram. And obviously visit our main website, conservativebusinessjournal.com, for the greatest conservative writings in the marketplace today. Every morning, 11 a.m., we send an email out with some of the 7 to 15 of the greatest articles in the greatest writings in the conservative world. So make sure you do visit conservativebusinessjournal.com. Epic episode with Peter Navarro, former assistant of President Trump. Rewatch it, share it, like, comment, subscribe, follow. And thank you for supporting conservativemarketplace.com. That's the radical left, cancel culture's worst enemy. Guys, good night. God bless you. And thank you for watching. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for being a true conservative patriot.